And welcome back. So, what if a show stays true to itself, but that's exactly why it struggles to evolve? Season 3 of The Law, according to Lydia Poet, is a classic case of series that knows what works but isn't quite brave enough to change it. Set once again in late 19th century Italy, the story continues to follow Lydia, played by Matilda, as she balances legal battles, personal relationship, and her ongoing fight for women's rights in a deeply restricted society. And to its credit, the show still understands its core strength. The season revolves around a central case involving Lydia's close friend Gracia, who is accused of killing her abusive husband. What makes it compelling is the moral conflict. It's not just courtroom drama, it's personal. Lydia believes Garcia acted in self defense, but standing on the opposite side, the man she's romantically involved with, that setup alone creates emotional tension. And for the most season, it works. The show continues its familiar structure, a main storyline supported by smaller case of the week investigation. It's clean, easy to follow, and still engaging enough to keep you watching. But here's the issue: it feels too familiar. By season 3, you start to notice that the series isn't really evolving, it's defining what already worked instead of pushing into something new. And while that keeps things consistent, it also makes the storytelling predictable. Even the tone sticks to the same balance, mixing serious themes like abuse, inequality, and justice with lighter, almost comedic moments. Sometimes it works, but often it doesn't. The shifts can feel awkward, especially when the show jumps from heavy topics to light humor without fully connecting the two. It ends up weakening the emotional impact instead of enhancing it. Where the series still shines, though, is in its performance. Matilda continues to carry the show. Her portrayal of Lydia remains sharp, determined, and emotionally layered. The season you This season, you also see more of the consequences of her choices, not just as a lawyer but as a woman, navigating love, loyalty, and societal pressure, supporting performances, especially from Pear and Sarah, bringing some of the most grounded and emotionally resonant moments in the season. But even strong acting can't fully fix the writing issue. A major problem this time is the increased focus on romance, particularly a love triangle that feels predictable and honestly a bit overdone. It starts pulling attention away from the legal drama, which has always been the heart of the show. And that shift hurts because instead of deepening its theme around justice and feminism, the series sometimes feel like it's drifting into more conventional, almost formulaic storytelling. The finale is where things should have come together, and while it does bring emotional closure and raises the stake, it also feels rushed. Important development don't get the time they need, and the impact ends up been less powerful than it could have been. It's not a bad ending, but it's not the strong defining conclusion the series was building towards either. In the end, season 3 is a mixed experience. It's coherent, it's watchable, and it stays true to the identity that made the show popular in the first place. But that same consistency becomes its limitation because instead of evolving, it plays it safe. And for a story about breaking boundaries, that's a bit disappointing. Still, if you have followed Lydia's journey so far, there's enough here to keep you invested. Just don't expect it to reinvent itself. It's more of a steady continuation than a bold final statement. Thank you for watching. Bye.